Welcome to Shays Insights, and it is spring. And I am so glad we have spring energies. I don't know if everyone's noticed it. I can really feel them nowadays, and the last few days, so it's fantastic. So that's my opening. I don't have a lot to say other than I'm just really enjoying the spring energies coming in. And of course, I don't know if everyone else has it, but I was surprised by the amount of pollen on my windshield. I saw it. Holy smokes! There's a lot of pollen, which for those who are sensitive to it, that can be a real fun time. So, wow. Well, we got 6 of us here, which is always a nice little cozy group, and don't have a lot to start with, as I mentioned, just spring energies. The reason with your hair, Lisa, last time we talked about you had your hair and the message. I don't know if you became aware of it, but your high self and one of your guides actually, and it ties to hair because it comes out of the head, represents thoughts, and also represents spiritual thoughts and spiritual expression. And I didn't realize it, and I was like, and they wanted me to wait until this time to talk about it. But it's kind of like, if you remember, Samson had the power, enormous power when he had the long hair, and then lost it when he had it shorter. This has to do, when you talked about it, it's like, holy smokes, for some reason, I realized that your hair when I saw it last time, was emblematic of your spiritual expansion that's been going on. And so that was, I don't know why it came to me that way, but I said, oh, well, that's amazing. So I thought I'd share it this time. So anyway.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah. And and it's still going on. So that's good. So I'll go ahead.
So,
Who wants to start? Okay. You want to start? Paula, go
So
ahead.
I have something for Lisa too, because when you started talking about hair, I heard this is the fun Lisa. And you're always fun, don't mistake me. It means that the heaviness is starting to wane and your light, loving self is going to be shining even more than we've known before. So it feels like just a lighter, funner time coming for you without so much heaviness.
Well, I like that. How about you,
thank you.
Lisa?
That sounds good. I'm ready for it. It's been intense.
Wow. Well, yeah.
I,
So
I
anyways, go ahead, Paula. You started. Go ahead.
Sorry, there might be a little bit of a lag here. I apologize. I was talking over you. Um, Two things. I really got two really personal questions this week. The first one is I'm having bouts of nausea. I mean, just out of the blue. Almost every morning when I wake up, I'm just almost like wretchedly sick at my stomach, but then it goes away. But then it comes and goes throughout the day, but there's no reason for it because I'm not sick. I'm healthy. My food is good. I'm wondering if there's a spiritual concept to it that I'm just not picking up on.
Hmm. I think if something's coming through, I don't have anything quite yet. Does anyone else have anything? Because I'm not getting it quite yet. It will come through, but
Well, I don't have specifics, but I can see where you're releasing energy through the solar plexus, and that usually upsets the stomach when you're clearing stuff out of that solar plexus, which has to do with, it's kind of your personal power, it's the energy distribution, but it's also where a lot of control, judgment, those kinds of things get stuck in there. So I know I had like 5 months of it, uh, totally feeling
Well, now,
sick and throwing up, and it was a very intense clearing for 5 months. And my whole digestion was just totally upset the whole time. I couldn't eat that well. Um, Yours doesn't look as intense as that, but it's like you're just little by little you're releasing stuff in that area. If that makes sense.
that makes perfect sense. And I was thinking that it had something to do with that. But again, I thought I'd like some feedback. And so I really am happy to hear that um, because it makes perfect sense as to the clearing and that stuff. So thank you. And the other question is, and Deborah and I were talking about it, and even Pat, the odd pains that we're all having, like both of my shoulders were really bothering me. Now, the last couple of days, it's like all of a sudden, it's like you'd never know they'd been bothering me for 3 months or almost a year on one of them. And I'm wondering if that again is stuff just leaving as it's released, that old growth stuff is gone and I feel better.
Yes, and that's what we've talked about before. And if it comes back through, you don't be surprised by it, because we're getting through a period. I'm seeing it with lots of people, because we're having this. We're ready for it now. We've grown enough to where we're ready for it. This older, heavier stuff that we couldn't have handled before can now be released. That's part of the yuckiness that Lisa just talked about. Now that and it's particularly, I want to use the word that why nauseous is because it's yucky stuff from periods that have to do with just those experiences and they're releasing. But we're now ready for it. You are specifically, but I think most everybody on the committed spiritual path at this point, their frequency's raised enough to where, okay, this stuff can be released without it having a really big, huge detrimental effect. So that's my short answer. If anyone else has anything, please do jump in.
Just in case
Paula?
someone else, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I have the same kind of stuff, mostly with my thumb, my left thumb, and it'll be like excruciating pain, and I can't even move it. It hurts so bad. And then 2 minutes later, it's completely gone, like nothing ever happened. And it comes back, every, I don't know, couple days, or it'll be a week in between, and it happens for no reason. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
And it just keeps on working its way out.
Well, I'm happy to know that it is that, not happy that others are experiencing it, but at least it is all spiritually and energetically related. So I appreciate knowing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank
because I don't know if anyone else has noticed it, I'm sure you all have. I was having some this afternoon, the last few days, but really this afternoon, had a whole bunch of a very high frequency, intense energy coming in, made me almost dizzy, and didn't realize what it was at first, but then I was like, oh, that's what that is. And that allowed, because of the intensity of the things coming in, again, that also allows for this other stuff to be going, which is good, because once it's gone, yay. Wow.
Thank it, bless it, and be happy it's moved through. So
yeah, that's
thank
right.
you.
There we go. Thank you. And thank you, Marci, for that. And
That's
it's interesting, the thumb. I just had, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's speak. And since Marci, you jumped in, would you like to share what's going on with you? Any questions? Anything happening? I know we talked about some of it. I'd love to, whatever you want to share.
Well, let's see. Yesterday was an amazing day. And I came back from the Big Island, and it was just that really, really floaty, gentle, loving feeling. And I really enjoyed it. Let's see. I had a really good time. It was great to be with my son. I enjoyed seeing little kids, just that energy of being around little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that connection, even ones that, had no interaction with me, didn't know me at all, and they would just be all loving and give you hugs. And it's just so special. The energy of them is just amazing. And I almost feel like, that's something to get my attention. I don't know if it's like an encouragement to keep going, or, part of the direction that things are going to go. But it's really uplifting. It's really just such a... And so I talked to you a little bit about the property that I looked at. I did make an offer on a piece. It was not like your dream piece kind of thing. It had things that needed to be improved. I made a low offer on it, and the guy didn't take it. He decided he would keep for now, rent it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that'll change or not. I'm not sure. I know you mentioned before that there were several other pieces that were possibilities. So I feel like it's still the direction that I need to go. And I was really looking forward to kind of locking something in, because it takes focus and effort when we're spending so much of our awakeness in being.
Mm-hmm.
The motivation isn't there so much to go and do. And so it, in the back of my mind, I had, kind of thought it would be nice to be done with that part of it. But I followed the guidance I got all along the way, and this is where it's led me. So I'll just keep listening. I don't know if you see anything has changed, if anything, if I met any of the people that I needed to connect with, or anything shifted.
Well, what we talked about before in subsequent conversation it's just a flow with things. And, you've got the initial response where they didn't accept, but I get my sense is if you have further interactions with him and, connecting with him, through communication through the real estate agent, or perhaps, I don't know how else. I just sense that if you, it's a possibility that it could become, you might have to raise the offer or something, but that it could happen in a future offer or something, or interaction. I'd say, I don't know if it's possible, but somehow I sense if you can somehow in some way keep in contact, keep the interaction going, that property could become available. I know the initial response was no, and he was a little bit, I want to use the word indignant, but just a little bothered by it, but he wasn't quite ready for it. But I think because of your energy, and if you could if there's possibility of having future interactions in some capacity, it could open up to where he accepts an offer. And as for the children, I'm getting that it's a reminder for you to be the youthful, more spontaneous self. Just be that, which you certainly have plenty of. But I think this thing can become available, and then as you keep flowing with things, I think the other possibilities can come up, but they're not there quite yet.
Okay, that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
And it's a big flip from here where I am, because
Mm-hmm.
it's way more populated. There's traffic. It's an extreme beach. Like, you got to time it right, or you're not getting in the water. And it's the whole hippie scene,
Mm-hmm.
nude beach thing.
Oh.
Optional, of course. And so it's a whole different world. And it's like, why am I even over there? But the people that we stayed at their their vacation rental, when we left, they were so welcoming and heartwarming, and they said, we need your energy here. They said it to my son and I, and it was like, that kind of feels like what part of this is about, is like being a little missing piece of something, filling in a puzzle.
I think that's true, but there's also a piece for you there. The energies that are there are also calling you. You can, I sense you can really feel it. You can feel it inside you. You really know you're being called. Can't quite put your thumb on it, but you can feel it. And that's why just flow with it. That's what the guidance I'm still getting from your high self, to flow with this and let it unfold. And again, keep the interaction if it's possible, if there's opportunity to have an interaction with the individual and make another offer. If you feel called to do so, do. And it could open up, I don't know how soon, could be, like a month or so from now, suddenly he's just like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And he could just change his mind. And if he does that, you'll need to take advantage of it. Just make the offer then and move on it, because it'll be short-lived. That window of, I think he's going to be open. I think the universe is going to open him up to allowing that property to go And if it's you feel called again, and then obviously it'll be something that you'll be able to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's how it felt, and he's over there working on it right now. He just came from out of state to work on it, so
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, let him work on it, and he'll see all the things that need to be done, and it might change his mind."
That's
But
what
I
it feels
wasn't.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't like in love with it. It was like a property. I could make it work, but somewhere in the back of my mind, it was like it needs to feel like I need to like really feel the piece of property, and it didn't come that way.
Yeah.
It felt like a really good match for my son, but maybe that's part of it too. So.
Yeah, that seems to be a part of it in some, the word, I don't know if I want to call it adjunct way, but in some related way. Yeah. And as this flows, if it does open up, you know that it's for, it's an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity, and whether you choose to pursue it is up to you. But that's what I'm seeing on the immediate horizon. They don't want really to talk about other things that could come up later, that this just let this full flow and unfold and see where it goes.
Okay, sounds good. And I like your expression, couldn't quite put my thumb on it.
Oh, I didn't even, I'm sorry, no pun intended there. So I wasn't even, all right, well, there's your thumb pain. That's it. That's it. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Oh,
great. Thank you, Jess. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thank you for sharing that, and we'll keep thumbs in mind there. So thank you.
Hey, Marci,
Yeah. Yeah.
hi. I'm getting, when I test, that there is something much better and much, I don't know if higher is the right word, for you, there somewhere. And then the kid thing, and I got that when I talked to you, but I didn't say a word because it wasn't my place, because you needed to experience it and look
Uh-huh.
and feel it and all of that. And those kids, how appropriate is that? That the children, they, most children, they go from moment to moment and they're
Yeah.
not looking for their future. And of course you have to a certain degree, but if you can take that fun aspect that they were giving you
Hmm.
and keep looking at it that way, then any kind of I don't want to use the word, it's not that you're anxious. We'll just let that part go. But um all of a sudden this other one will appear for you, or you'll be called to go over there again and at some point down the line. And I don't think it's too far away. I mean, I'm not saying any timeline like a week or a month or whatever, but when you find that one, you will know it. It will speak to
That's
you. Yeah.
that's what I thought it would be, Pat. And I'm getting teary-eyed listening to you because there was a piece that I would have really liked, but it was more expensive. And so I didn't really pursue it any further.
Well,
But
maybe that's the one, who knows, and maybe
yeah,
you will, and maybe the boys will say, "Hey, Mom, let's go for it."
right.
So it will.
Good, good,
It's
good.
coming. It's coming.
Okay. Thank you, Pat.
Sure.
Is there encouragement there, and see what comes on, see what manifests itself. It'll be wonderful. All right, thank you, Pat. And I'm going to move over to Lisa. Do you have anything to share? Any thoughts? Anything at all?
Ugh, it's been a busy time again. I can't believe that it's been a month since the last time. Um, I was talking to Jessica last night and I was like, wow, I can't believe that the Intuitive Insights is tomorrow night. So it's yeah, it was really intense because I was going through that
Yes.
energy download. So it was really intense for a while. I was having some pretty crazy dreams. I had one dream where I remember I was talking to somebody about all of my past lives. And I was first going through my Egyptian, and I said, oh, wait a second, I got to back up. I got to tell you about all of the Atlantean ones first, because that's really when I first came in. So I didn't, that's all that I kind of remember. I don't remember all of the details beyond that, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, I feel like I've been just going through some intense stuff. But I'm still, I'm so busy because I'm getting ready for the Mother's Day show next weekend, and but I'm trying to describe, because maybe some of you have been feeling kind of similar things. A lot of different emotions coming up. Things have been moving so fast that I feel like I don't know where I'm at sometimes.
Mhm.
Like I don't have reference points, and yeah, I was starting to get not depressed, but disappointed, because last year I was doing much better in my abundance and with my business, and this year has been a completely different space. Things have really gone down, and I'm
Mm.
trying to, create a whole nother business and do things like that. But yeah, it's been really kind of challenging. And definitely have had some doubt creeping in and going, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing these things. And, just kind of like a lot of back and forth and feeling like I'm pulled in a lot of directions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I don't want to cut you off. You have any more to share there? Keep going.
Well, I had Jessica do a little reading for me last night to really kind of clear some more stuff out, because I felt like the abundance thing, it's been one of my things probably for a lot of lifetimes.
Yeah.
And definitely this lifetime has been a huge thing. And it's like there's a lot of stuck energy on both sides of my families as well. And so we did some major clearing with that. And I don't even remember half the stuff that came up. Um, I'm curious if you can see anything with that, if that more of that got cleared out.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's funny because you talked about the Atlantean dream, and I'm not sure what your thoughts are on it, what your sense of it is, but what has been happening, we talked about last time, is you've been expanding out. Now then, once that happens, and as it's not like it's a single process, it's ongoing, as you know, then you have an integration phase that goes along with it, and you've had that. Then what has happened is that the Atlantean lives, I want to use that for an example, you're ready to release that. That's part of all the things that happens that are dynamics, and some of the stuff that happened to you, you're ready to release. And it has to do with abundance. It has to do with you were doing some things and you were, I don't want to use the word, it was a negative experience, punished for it. Because in that, same with Deborah, that same experience. With the crystals and doing the work that you did as part of that team, for doing the right thing, negative occurrences happened, and you're ready to let go of that because that's not who you are, and you're going through I don't know. You talk about confusion and abundance. I feel like you can go a couple different directions with the new thing, continuing with the other. It feels like you're going through this sifting and letting the dust settle, and then a little bit more of a direction of where things are going a little bit. But you're in the middle of that right now, and that's why things have, not quite what they were. But it feels like they're both what you do, what your Etsy stuff and your other work and your new line of things. All these can be vibrant, but it feels like you're in a period of trying to figure out what the mix is going to be, and I'm not exactly sure because it's kind of fuzzy right now to see with that. So that's where I'm seeing it. But as far as the Atlantean thing and the feelings you've been having, I feel like you're clearing it out. the abundance issue, the block of abundance. And then what does that mean moving forward? And I think that's why things are fuzzy, trying to figure out what you're doing. Because of you're letting the old blocks go. Now what's the next? What are you doing? Where are you being, what's going to be the thing or things that you're doing or focusing on? And it feels like the opportunities are moving too. And I think you'll recognize them pretty quickly. But it's going to be a little bit slow for a little bit. So, but it looks like it's going to move, accelerate back up. I'm going to say August, but it's hard to tell on the inner plane on the timeline. But that's what it feels like. It's going to clear out. The old is going to move, and then it's like, oh, hey, I can do this. Things will come to you. I'm not sure how it is. I'm not sure it's a new line or promoting a certain thing or you have these different products that you do, which are very wonderful, by the way. So I just think it's going to be figuring that out, sorting that out, sifting and sorting, and then seeing what shines through and then going with that.
So should I not be doing the skincare then?
No, I think that's part of it. It could be, yes. I mean, it can be. But right now, does it feel kind of slow?
Well, it's things haven't gotten. My business partner, she's been gone. She's been gone for almost 5 weeks now. And I really just want to move forward on my own because I've been doing all this work on finalizing products and finding recipes and putting things together and testing stuff. And I've been doing almost all of the work. And so I feel like I'm being held back because she's not really in it.
Yeah, and I thought, and maybe I misunderstood when Deborah talked about it, was that she had acquiesced or let things go. I was kind of, she feels like she wants to keep holding on. That's what it is.
That's what she's kind of doing. But like I haven't talked to her for quite a while. We'll get little texts because I'm watching her house and things like that, but I have no idea. I'm sure she's got a bazillion things because she's taking care of her mom. Her mom had surgery. And she's got her daughter and her dog at her mom's house. So I'm sure it's a little chaotic there. And she's working. So,
well, my sense is, and I was surprised because the way I misunderstood is that she had acquiesced and let go. But that's what, as you move forward in the thing, if you can do it, and hasn't changed, if you can get this to yourself, it's going to be a really wonderful thing for you. But it's getting her to release, and I keep seeing it kind of clinging to it, and she wants to hold on to it, and that's the sifting part of the sifting and sorting, and figuring out if that's even possible for her to do it. And at some point, you'll make a decision, and other things are going to open up. I'm assuming it's part of the work and maybe some other things, but I'm seeing some bright golden light coming through a potential of maybe these are ideas that will come to you or a new line or something along that line. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this. Something will spark your awareness that, hey, I can go over in this area. And, those are coming for you. I'm hoping that you can do that. My thought was, is that if anyone can do it, it's you. Your energies are, and I mean that sincerely, I mean that there's a gift that you have, these energies of communication and doing it in such a way that people are more willing to let go, to move on. And if it's something they need to let go of it, when coming through you, it seems that facilitates that to happen more so than with other people. And so I'm hoping you can do that, but she does seem clingy, but unwilling to do anything, to do her part. And I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
I'm probably just going to have a talk with her when she comes back and just say, I have to move on. I can't.
Yes.
Can't wait. So.
Yeah, and either please let me do this myself, and I need to do this, or I'm going to move on, and it's going to go nowhere because she's not going to do anything with it. Right. Or she'll try to do a little bit of muddling around with it, but I don't think it'll go anywhere. Whereas what it shows me, what the universe is clearly showing me, is if you're able to get it to where you're doing it, it will. It can take off for you and really be a very viable thing for you. Especially because you're in, what makes this a very, it's not just what you're making, it's your, and you already know this, your energy is part of it, and the energy that's coming through you is what's facilitating to make it actually work as well as it does. That's one of the reasons it's working as well as it does, is because of the energy's coming through you and in saturating the product. It's a huge part of it. I don't want to say huge, but it's a big part of it. It's a pretty significant part of it, yeah.
Well, some of the other, like I have a pain relief, muscle tension balm, and I've gotten incredible feedback. I had one lady, she's a veteran. She was in Iraq or one of those wars over there. And so she has chronic pain, and she's got, sciatica stuff as well too. And we did a trade, and she, took some of that, and she said, "This is the best thing I've ever used." She says, "I've done everything, and nothing works like this stuff." And I know it can't just be the ingredients.
The ingredients are key because they're the right ingredients in the right ratio to absorb, allow your energies to be part of it that's coming through you. So
Okay.
yes, I agree with that. Absolutely. And again, if your partner doesn't, if she doesn't willing to do it, actually it's best if she could just pull away, because her energies are, they're heavier, and they're not
And they're holding Lisa back.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Thank you, Pat. I agree with that. But it's just a matter of, it's just too bad you can't. Grace Hopper, the woman who invented COBOL, co-invented COBOL, is one of the first programming languages that made modern computing what it is today. And her famous line was, "It's easier to ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission." She just go do something, and then later on say, "Well, oh darn, I wasn't supposed to do that." Well, too late now. And maybe you can use the Lisa version of that in this thing. I don't know, but I feel like if anyone can do it, and this is not from me, this is from your high self. I'm just relaying that. If anyone can do it, you're the one who can. And if it can't, then you can just know that you've got to honor, you got your ethics and do what's right. But if you, if you can do it, or you can have her on the sideline somewhere where, she's not part of it, but maybe her name is part of it, where she gets some credit for the product, but you mainly are the one benefiting from the, all the work in the sales of it. That would be great.
Also, Lisa, I'm getting that on a level of understanding that we all have to do from time to time, is by stating to yourself now. You can say it however you want to her when you meet her, but it's getting that across, that I have moved forward. I am doing this alone. You know how to do it. And I think that is part of the process that has to come through right now to, I can't get the words tonight, to cement that in to you as well as your products and everything, your whole business.
Yeah.
I have made the decision, and you don't have to say it to her that way, of course, but whether she gets it or not, I hope she does once she gets back, but you are at a stage right now where it's enough. It's like you're done kicking the soccer ball and letting her kick it back. You're going to make the goal. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. And that may be what I was getting through with the Grace Hopper example, is just moving forward and again, asking you, moving forward, doing what you are called to do, and in the way that you feel guided to do it. And then later, if it may just become, as Pat said, maybe just be overcome by events. She might just go, but it's going to take some finesse that I think only you can do, coming through you, to do it. I think the energies will come through if you're able to do it, if it's possible to do. Because she's not holding on really tight, but she wants to keep clinging on. And at some point, if she recognizes that it's just not for her, she'll move on and do whatever she's going to do. But I felt there was always a possibility for you to be. There's the path for you to do this. I just didn't know what it was. So, other than I know you're the one who can do it. And again, that's from your high self. She says and so, is there more? Anything else on there?
No, I think that's everything. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you. I want to let you know, thank you for the raised bed information. Deborah now has raised beds. So,
You got him done?
yeah, I did. Long story short, I had another project, and that project didn't take me nearly the time I thought it was going to. So I said, well, let's just go and do it. Next thing I know, box of beds, were made in the garage. We linseed oiled them. And now that just today, they went out there, and Deborah's she'll send you a picture. She said she's going to send you a picture.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Anyway, but thank you for all your help. Much appreciated. So, all right. And I just really do, but closing out on for you, Lisa, I really do feel like, they're showing me there's some things coming in like August, I think some things will open up. And I just really hope there's a viable, that you can find the path of light to make this products work, because you are the absolute perfect agent to bring these things through and to provide these products, and she's not. Just bluntly speaking, she's not, you are. It's that simple. And so, all right, thank you. Unless there's something else, I don't want to, okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to move over to Franny. Franny, can you try and demute yourself?
I was trying to make a comment for Lisa, but I was
please
muted.
do.
I didn't.
Go ahead.
Just as Jeff was talking, I really felt like I, could sense this flow of energy coming through from spirit and into the product. And that it will be a blessing to so many for you to do that. And when you talked about, the pain relief balm or salve that you were working on, and that the veteran had said, oh my gosh, this is the only thing that has helped me. It's just like, you're in right alignment to be doing this, right? Anyway, I just wanted to say congratulations. And I felt like I could feel that flow of energy that's coming from spirit, or I could feel it or see it coming from spirit through you, through your hands and into the products. So
thank you. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Powerfully so too. Yes.
Thank you.
So Franny, how about you? What do you have to share, or any questions or anything at all?
Well, I've been feeling pretty tired, pretty wiped out, and I've got this cold that's been hanging on forever. But with the sunshine, it's like a whole different story. It's like that was ancient history, even though it might have been Tuesday. It was 2 days ago. I was just like, oh, I'm so tired, I feel like I've been in a whirlwind, and energetically, I feel like I'm shifting kind of up and down and into this gear, then over to this gear, then wait a minute, where was I? Oh, now I'm over here, just a lot of different levels. And so, just trying to go with it and hopefully end up on one of the higher levels, not one of the lower levels. I'm going to get to see a good friend this weekend, and I'm really excited about that. I haven't seen them in, probably over a year. I'm not quite sure how long, but it's been a while. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, I had a client pass away suddenly, and so uh, he was in good spirits and reasonably good health. I mean, he has some health issues, but he had seen people on Tuesday and talked to his sister, and gratefully their last words to each other were very loving. And she got the word on Friday that the property managers in the trailer park had asked for a welfare check on him because nobody had seen him, and so they found him that he had passed away, and it looked like he passed peacefully in his sleep.
Hmm.
And his sister drove up uh, to be here and handle his affairs. So I've been meeting with her and talking a lot with her,
Hmm.
um, offering support. And there's a woman next door who is a chronic alcoholic who'd been taking advantage of him financially.
Hmm.
And so there's just anyway, there's some rough edges, you might say, in terms of the grieving process and in terms of how things are going to go with that. I have a lot of compassion. This was a good man, and I appreciated him, and I I can say that he the last year or so was much better for him than the previous 10 years had been. So I hope that gives his sister some peace as she moves through this.
Hmm.
Um, I'm excited about my niece coming, so I'm going to talk with her this weekend. I'm getting ready to buy a little car for her, and that's been a big thing of does she drive out or does she fly out? And if she flies out, how does she get around? Because she will be working somewhere, we don't know where, but
Hmm.
she wants to get a job, and we figured it'd be hard to manage without a second car. So anyway, I've identified a little car. I'm gonna close the deal tomorrow. That feels good, and I just need to talk with her and kind of nail down a date, and then get some other things in place. So, um, and then I have one more thing, but I think I'll wait. Why don't I just pause right there and see if you have any insights or comments on any of that?
Well, yeah, when you talked about the whirlwind, I saw it actually. It was spiraling up, I saw it like fire, golden fire, and it's just a lot of this, that's, and the other things of your life over periods of time, and maybe even some past life stuff, just falling away, and you're shifting upward in kind of a multi-threaded way. And you said you hope you land on a higher plane. Yeah, as you're moving upward, and you're gonna have some of the other normal earthly stuff happen, but don't let that this, that, some odds and ends things that are some that are really wonderful, some that are less than wonderful, but don't let that. That's just background noise. Just you're moving up, and that is indeed happening, and it's the time for it to happen. This is the time for it, and you're doing it. So, and as for the man you talked about, this was his primary time to leave. By the way, this is the time he was supposed to leave. Ever since my past shifting event years and years and years ago, when people talk about things, I get to see the different gates people have to leave. And this was his primary one. And some people sometimes hold on for various reasons, inner reasons, and they stay longer or they leave sooner, whichever the case may be. But this was and it's appropriate. And it seems like it's going, although from the outside level, the being taken advantage of and that sort of thing. It's happening as it was supposed to, as it was. These events are happening not only as his passing, but it's going to be in ways that like the lady that you said is taking advantage of him. It's going to actually be because he has left. This is, I'm not sure how soon, but it will be a benefit for her for learning, and that'll be a good thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad your niece is coming and you got a car. So I don't have much more than that. It just seems like, but when I saw that, I saw the spiraling, almost like flames in a positive way, moving up, and old stuff falling away, and you're moving up, shifting up to this, and then you'll start integrating there and anchoring, and then new things will show up. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Sounds wonderful. The only other thing I had questions about were that we've talked before about how because Rayanne is coming, I wanted to scale back my work, and
Mm-hmm.
there's usually a big drop in as soon as the sun's out, everybody's like outside and they're not wanting to go to therapy. They're like, I feel so much better. Um, so there's always a big drop in the client load,
Mm-hmm.
the client numbers during the summer. And all of a sudden, I just got 2 new clients, and I'm like, "What? Wait a minute, wait a minute." So I'm realizing that I need to sit down and outline everything in a way that
Yes.
my boss will understand, and then I think I need to talk with him on Monday. I could ask him to come up to the office after my last person leaves. But I have to be clear about how many people I have now, how many are leaving, what I expect the summer to look like, and then, can we scale down the expectations and my salary. So anyway, any comments or reactions that you have to that, I'd love to hear.
I think you've got your guidance is absolutely right on the money. Sooner the better. Yeah, I mean it's going to be share your expectations, what you're thinking, be a little flexible, be willing to be a little flexible. But I feel like he'll go with it, as long as there's a little bit of flexibility. So if something comes up, you can handle it, because you don't have to. If something comes up, a lot of times we can deal with that particular thing. And not have to take on a whole bunch of activity unnecessarily. And I feel like that can happen. So
Okay.
yeah, I think you're gonna have a mix of things, but as long as you're willing to flow with it, I think generally speaking, you're gonna have a lesser load, which is going to allow you more time for the things you want to do.
Great.
Yeah, but
Great.
do share with him, and the sooner the better. And that's great. You said Monday. You said that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got to sit down and he's a numbers kind of guy, so
Yeah,
he'll
map
want
it
to
out.
know exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll
yeah, he
he'll want to know exactly where I'm at with things. So, all right. Well, thank you. No, I'm really grateful to be here. It's wonderful to see everybody, and I feel complete.
Well, thank you, and yeah, and I'm glad you said map it out. That's exactly what you need to do, because he does he likes detail. And long as he feels there's flexibility within the detail, it seems like he's okay with things. It's when he feels uncomfortable, where there feels like there's loose ends. That's when he gets a little antsy. But I think you're good. You're good at doing that, and you know him. You know what he wants. So. All right, well, great. And I hope when your niece shows up, that'll be good. So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Wow. All right, let's move over to Jessica. Jessica, do you have anything to share? Anything, thoughts, anything at all?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so I wanted to say uh I've been feeling the shoulder pains and the moving pains around the body, and
Hmm.
they're here one day and then they're gone the next, and I've been doing a lot of that too, so
Yeah.
but I wanted to ask about the job. So it's yeah,
It's okay.
it's
Go ahead.
it's a lot.
It
It's
is.
so I mean they're so in lack, like it makes me a little crazy, and I don't know if that's for me to kind of learn how to get out of that space myself, or um if that's for everybody. And then the other thing is that there's just like I'm doing the job of, like, I don't know, it feels like 15 people to me, and I think the expectations are like way over like what's actually possible.
Yeah, and so I want to jump in if you don't mind for just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, the aches and pains are normal, what we talked about right up front. And I'm going to say not just this group, but those again on the committed spiritual path, because people that are on the spiritual path are basically we're on the front edge of the energies coming in, and they're anchoring it for the whole soul group, because that you're doing that, and we're all doing that. We're ready to let go of more stuff, and this is such an opportunity to let go of some of that. I call it super heavy stuff. Like, I don't even know how to talk about it, but it's just real heavy, older stuff that couldn't have been let go of before. And then it sometimes, as we all talk about, as it gets processed out, some of it gets let go all off the bat. Some of it gets processed through our energy field, and we experience it physically, emotionally, energetically. So you're going through some of that. Part of one of the things your high self, one of your guides just told me was that, yeah, you're going to have this intensity at work. And I don't know if I alluded to that before, but I knew that was coming. And one of the ways to somehow, I don't want to use the word lessons, it's growth aspects for you is to learn how to be able to be, to keep the pace up, but without getting as energetically connected, being your inner self. And you're actually, just so you know, you're doing that. I think somewhat unknowingly you're doing it. You don't even realize you to the extent you're doing it, but you are. And to do that, and I'm going to say something, and I don't want you what they want you to do is just stay focused in the processes you're in. But as you're doing that, be open, because other possibilities are, I think, at some point coming up. I don't know when. But what you're doing right now is giving you the skill set and the agility of tightrope. I'm going to call it tightrope walking, which is kind of what it looks like. You're kind of doing that to open up another possibility. But it's going to be a ways out. It's a little ways out, not a long ways, but a ways out. And you're going to evolve in this position as you can go. And one other thing is communicating that. Somehow make it that they can know that you are absolutely performing the best that you can do, and this is what it looks like. And because don't let them having ever increasing expectations drive you to where to do things you cannot do. You just perform at the level, keep it flowing, all the different threads that are happening in your job, because you have multiple things happening at the same time. But at your higher spiritual connection, your inner self level, and don't let your low self get involved. And it looks like that is indeed what you're trying to do, and you are doing.
It's kind of a little bit of a struggle.
It is, and I can see that. That's why I'm trying to say that in the right way, because you can feel yourself being pulled sometimes. And the fact that you're aware of that allows you to help let go of some of it and just handle it at the higher level without the lower, heavier involvement. And the more you do that, the more stuff that gets let go. And that's part of why all this stuff's happening. You're having this stuff experiences because you are releasing it. So, your guides and your high self want you to know this is a process that you are doing, and it's a process that you need to do. It's kind of like sometimes we've got to go through a certain stretch of road we don't like. It's whatever it is, and we just it is what it is. But once we get through that stretch of road, that allows us to move on and continue doing things that in the way that we want to do them, and that's where you're at.
Right.
That's the process you are in.
Okay, so when you're talking about other opportunities, are they with these same people or with like other people, other places?
Like other people, but it feels like it's somehow, I won't say connected to it, but it's I think it'll be as of a consequence of all the things you're doing that you'll become aware of other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But this process that you're in, that your guides are certainly helping you, they're helping you every single day. I want you to know that they are with you doing stuff, that you're growing in things and learning how to do it from the lighter, higher threads and letting more of the other lower stuff go away. And as you keep and continue developing that and honing that and becoming better at that, that's going to open up the possibility for these other things. So the very process you're in is going to make possible the opportunities in the future.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
And because I could see just getting sucked into this job and like 24/7.
Yeah, and if they had their way, they would probably do that. But this is part of not only this job is a microcosm of life for you. I don't want to overstate something, but this is giving you a chance because as you hone this, you're also honing this for your own life path.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
you were aware of that, but that's indeed what is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. Is there anything else?
Um, the only other thing I'm kind of wondering if you see anything about my brother. He's kind of going through a little thing with the law.
Um, yes, he is. And this is part of his, he didn't have to choose this, but because he made the choices he has made, this is an outcome that was part of his life path. And he is choosing a little bit more. I'm going to say the more, this is my words, this isn't the harder way rather than the easier way. But it has to do with patterns that he needs to become increasingly aware of. And this intensity is actually going to help him make other choices later on. But he's going to be going through this for a little bit. Okay. And it's
Is he?
his inner choice, by the way, not whatever, however it may look. This is part of the events, seen and unseen, that were part of his life plan to make it. You know, sometimes we have to have something hit us from get us from left field or in a way that we're not expecting it to really make us pay attention.
Yeah.
He's been doing this in these the things that have caused this have been going on for a while, as with most of us. And this is an opportunity for him to shift and make a change. But it may take the proverbial 2x4 to do it.
Yeah, he's just so stubborn and
Yeah, absolutely.
so uncooperative and
Yep. To his own detriment. Yeah.
I know. He's cut everybody out of his life. It's just crazy.
Yep. But this intensity and even, and I will say that the in his own life the heart, the heaviness and sorrow and just I'll say the negative energetic and emotions that come with it. He is at some level choosing this because of his previous patterns, and there are patterns that he's at a point where they can be crumbled, they can start breaking and falling away, and new patterns can come in. But it looks like it's going to take, at least as it stands right now, this snapshot in time as we're talking, a little more intensity for him to do that. Negative intensity, as you might expect.
Yeah.
I'd like to say otherwise, but that's what it looks like right now.
Is there even anything I can do to help?
Just be there for him, but also be comforting but not enabling. And I think that you try to do that anyway, but don't let him suck you into enabling even a little bit. You know, sometimes we're loving, but also very truthful and say, listen, you're whatever it is, you can say it in your own way. You know, this is unfortunate and I really care about you, but these are happening because of, if you could say it lovingly in a way that is descriptive rather than judgmental, that would be helpful for him.
Yeah. Well, he's not even talking to me, so.
He may in the near future.
Okay.
And it could be a conversation that is precipitated on his end from anger and resentment. But knowing that, don't get caught up in his negativity. Just try to just be connected to the light and let that come through. And even though in that conversation it may not seem like much will come of it, it will actually be a benefit for him.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right. Pat, I know you always like to go as close to last as possible. So what do you have to share? I know hay fever has been a thing for you for a little bit. So other than that,
well, today was really a gorgeous day when I went outside about noon or so and started getting some things planted in the garden. It just was talking to Mother Nature and singing to Divine Mother. It was really gorgeous. And then this evening, first hummingbird came.
ooh.
I had the drink up for him, and it was I just like, okay, this is the cap right here. And then I just want to share with people that I've heard a couple of good um people that talk about things say that this month of May is going to be absolutely powerful, dynamic, spiritual um month, but so dynamic or whatever, these are my words.
Hmm.
Keep our seatbelts on and keep the way I'm being shown is stay centered and grounded.
Hmm.
Just, just stay present with everything because a lot of people who aren't like in the same vein of thinking that our group is, for instance, and many other heavy duty spiritual people, they're not there and they may be having a hard time. But we will be going, yeah, we've been waiting for this for eons. So that, and I just want to share with you guys something that this this man on the Satori Qigong thing that I purchased,
Hmm.
he says something in his meditation at the end of us doing the aging, the one for aging, which
Hmm.
is really cool. This is what he says, and it's so apropos to us. I am a healer. I can heal myself with my own life force energy. I am a healer. I have the ability to heal myself with my life force energy, taking our power back. My life force is my lifeline to the divine. And that's it.
Wow. Well, thank you. So this really resonates with you, doesn't it?
Yes, I think because I was hearing him. I started this a couple months ago, and I was real regular in the beginning. Now I'm a little bit, off. And then we had guests on the weekend with our grandson and our son and my sister, so I didn't do anything for the past week. But yes, this resonates with me, and everybody in this group is a healer.
Wow.
So I thought, you have got to share that. It's so powerful.
Well, thank you. And I will tell you, I feel like I feel like the spring energies are coming in, and I want to say that, you said May, I feel like that's going to continue. What do you call it? Just the energies coming in, spring energies, just energies coming in. It's really going to allow us to facilitate um, really our own growth and expansion. And that seems to be what is happening right now with all the light workers throughout the world is expanding, going upwards, anchoring that energy and bringing it in for the soul group to help to provide a way for the higher path for others if they can so choose it. And so, wow, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whew. Yeah, this is really a time I really feel like that. I've talked about it before, long ago, but I really do feel like this is a spiritual renaissance, a real opportunity, the growth that Edgar Casey talked about, and the things that are possible. We're in a period of spiritual inflow that has makes it possible for growth that we've been waiting for lifetimes, and we knew it's why we chose this lifetime. And this is and so much, and and as you're sharing these things that are happening to all of us, it's just reinforces knowing that this is we are getting we're releasing things that need to be released so that we can really pursue the higher path that's awaiting all of us, and the highest path, I think, if we so choose. So, whew, boy, oh boy. And I'm feeling the same thing a lot of you've been talking about. I've been having the things coming up and all these weird things, and as I look at it, I say, oh, that stuff being released, old muddy stuff and whatever else, and just keep on going, just keep on flowing out. That's the way. As the light comes in, it's exchanging. The old stuff's coming in and the new coming in, and we're expanding. And I want to use just Lisa. She's talking about that, and we're all growing, but Lisa, I'm just seeing that you are just this expansive period right now of expansion that's moving outward into the extent of your being, and it's just absolutely wonderful. And it's coming in and it's flowing, and that's part of one of the reasons why a lot of the oldest things are shifting and sifting, and we want to call it however you want to do it, sorting things out, however it is you're in right now is because of this. But wow, it's just so what's happening. Yours is really in an expansive period right now. So I just wanted to your high self and your higher divine and higher guides, your master guide, really want you to know that. And so, and boy, I certainly hope that as all of us are expanding, this whole summer is going to be I think a lot's going to be happening over the period of the summer. I think we're moving into a higher, and I just see golden energies coming in for all of us, different energies, but a lot of higher golden energies of just growth and expansion. And then of course, as that happens, then we have the integration, and then we start anchoring into that which have come in, and then things start showing up. The manifestation in the outer world, at least for me, always happens after all the other stuff's happened. It's a lagging indicator. In economics, they talk about that a lot. They have leading indicators and lagging indicators. And things happen behind the scenes in the economy, and then 6 months later, ooh, hey, that shows up in the economy, and everyone in the rest of the world gets to see it. But the same thing happens in our spiritual life. We have all these leading in things that happen, which is what's happening with everyone here right now, expanding out, and then we grow, old stuff falls away, sifting and sorting and integrating and connecting. And then as we start, our inner self and our conscious self start utilizing these things, then all of a sudden events start happening in our lives. And that's this period that I see us in for this summer. So they just made me aware of it again. I think I knew it in background, but now all of a sudden during this, just our time together here, all of a sudden it's like, oh, hold on, this is coming in. So I think this is going to be a wonderful period for us, and a wonderful summer, and it's always, this is the time. Summer is just that season of light, and I think it's going to be the season of expanded light for us spiritually as well, in a bigger way. It's not that it hasn't been happening, but I think it's going to really happen a lot more over this period of the summer. So a lot of falling away of old things and new things coming in. So okay, with that said, I'm going to go around, and I'm going to start with Marci. Marci, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything at all? Questions? Anything?
Yeah, I would say it feels like I don't see anybody on the screen because I have to wait for the replay, but it sounds like everyone's more powerful, more positive energies right now than we've experienced as a whole before. So I'm encouraged by that.
And that's what it looks like to me too. I agree.
Yeah, and because we all have all these bits and pieces that are in common, so it's cool. I like it. One thing I would ask you is I've got probably 5 weeks here where I'm staying, and then the owners will come back for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I'll come to Washington and see my daughter and dad, and then I'll come to Montana and do some financial stuff. And I'm just kind of feeling into whether it's better to wait till the end of the time here, 5 weeks, or maybe come sooner.
I'm going to say it'll be near the end of the time, but I think you're going to kind of know as you get closer.
Okay.
Yeah. But it looks like right now, as we speak this moment, three to, at least possibly 3 weeks from now, you may get the urge to go. And if you do, you'll know, and just, go when you feel like you need to go. I'm going to say it that way.
Yeah. I always think I'm going to get those early tickets, and I always have to wait until I get the urge.
I just think that's you, Marci.
Well,
yeah, that's the flow of Marci. I think it's Marci, the Marci expression. I just think that's just you, the nature of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always one way too. I don't know how long I'll be there, so. But anyway, I'll be excited to see everybody.
Yeah. Well, we hope to see you if you get here in Montana. We'll love to see you.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Jessica, any last thoughts, questions, anything at all? Okay, Jessica? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
No, I feel like everybody's been getting a lot lighter in the last few months, though. So I think it does feel like things are really moving, and I'm kind of excited about that. Something different.
Yeah, they are, and it's going to, as we talked about, that's just they would. Yes. Anyway, yes, we just talked about. Yes, it's absolutely happening right now, and it's going to get a little more accelerated, believe it or not, as we move through the summer. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So excited. But thank you for everything.
All right. Well, thank you, Franny. Any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
No, just great to see everybody. So, come on, summer. I love the weather. I'm ready to plant too. I've got tiny little spinach plants. So, yeah, let's bring in the light, or reflect the light.
Boy, do I agree. And it feels like it's not only this light of, I know I'm repeating myself, but the light of summer, but I just feel like this spiritual energy is paralleling that, just the intensity of, bringing in the summer months with all the light and the sun. And that's definitely happening spiritually for all of us. And for many of the light, for those light workers in the world, they're on the committed spiritual path, but there's a lot of them on the front edge of the wave. And that's certainly true of this group here. So. Thank you. All right. Lisa, any last thoughts? Anything at all? Questions?
It's just great to be back again and see everybody. And yeah, just thank you for everything. And I'm excited for this summer. I haven't listened to a lot of people, but I've just seen little tidbits of people saying that 2025 was going to be a very transformative year. And the month of May is, I believe that's Buddha's birthday. They always have that celebration of enlightenment in May. So that's also a very heightened, energetic, spiritual time as well.
Well, it certainly feels that way. So, well, I agree. 2025 could definitely, this is definitely a period of incoming energies and you could say transformation, but accelerated transformation. And also just I'm seeing just so much more of a lot of the really older stuff, older things that we've been holding on to. It's now we're ready to, for a lot of us, just to silently let that go and just move into it even more. So.
Well, let's do it. I'm ready for it to be done.
I agree. Wow. Well, thank you. And last but not least, Pat.
Just want to say I'm glad you were all here and have a wonderful week and love y'all.
Well, thank you. And I have one just question, just to make sure everybody's okay with it. July, I was, setting up the, programming in the Zoom, in Shays Insights, and I typically like the first Thursday is July 3rd, and usually that's getting too close to July 4th. People have things going on and whatever else. So I was going to have it scheduled for July 10th. Is that okay? Anybody have any? Okay. That's what it's going to be. I'll just let everybody know. It just seems like that way we don't have this happening right just while you have company coming or whatever else. People start taking extended holidays and that sort of thing, and just stuff is happening. So, all right. Well, as always, it's been a bright time here. Really bright coming in this one, especially with some really new energies coming in. Ones that were waiting to come in, now they're here. And I say the spring energies, but not only the spring energies, but the spring spiritual energies. And just in a big way, and it just looks like it's going to continue rolling into the summer and some of the spring. I see some silver energies coming in and golden energies, but we're going to have even more golden energies. And there's something about August that's coming up, and I don't know what it is, but that looks like it's a pretty significant transformational incoming of energies, and that's all I'm seeing it, but I don't know anything more about it than that. And if others, if you get any insights, don't hesitate to share an email or anything. But with that, blessings, light, and love, and until next month, namaste.
Bye.
Bye.